Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today we are going above 100 and the humidity is going to be very high. So I will not be cooking today at all. Just letting you know. And I'm fixing myself some mushroom coffee right now and I'm going to have a muffin. And I figured while I'm making it and waiting for it, I'll talk with you. A lot of people have high blood pressure, so I want you to have an understanding of it. When you have coffee, coffee is high in caffeine. Caffeine triggers your body to produce two chemicals, or to release two chemicals, and what it does is it constricts the blood vessels. So when they squeeze those blood vessels and they constrict it, your heart has to pump harder, which causes your blood pressure to go up. There's some people who are extremely sensitive, like me, a little bit of caffeine, and my blood pressure doesn't climb a little bit. It goes here to here right away. So that's why coffee is dangerous. Caffeine is actually very dangerous for me. Now, to understand, if you drink coffee all the time throughout your life, my coffee is ready. Well, I should say my mushroom coffee is getting ready. If you have coffee, a lot of coffee, your blood pressure, these vessels of yours are going to stay constricted all the time. And as they stay constricted over time, as you get older, your blood pressure is going to climb and come to the point that anytime you have coffee, it's going to shoot up right away. Some people are just sensitive. I didn't know I was, because I didn't have coffee when I was younger. I had it when I was older. Now, you're asking, how can you get the caffeine out of your system? This triggering that it does it causes your body to produce these two chemicals that cause this problem. There is nothing that you can do. The only thing you can do is wait. And that's literally what it states, is that you have to wait. And that could be anywhere from 12 up to 12 hours. And think about it. People have coffee in the morning. It's not even 10 hours and they go to have lunch. They might have some coffee at work. So think about the time you have your coffee. If you have your coffee in the morning, then you go to work, and then you have coffee in the afternoon, or in the morning before you go to lunch, you have your coffee break and you have coffee or tea. Remember, tea does the same thing, as well as sodas. So if you're using sodas or power drinks, they're doing the same thing as coffee because they all have caffeine in it. So then you go home, or in the afternoon you take another coffee break, and you think you've had coffee morning, afternoon, mid-noon and stuff, so you don't have a 10-hour break for it to ever drop down. And some people like to have a lot of coffee, so you can imagine just how much it's pushing your those chemicals to go into your body, actually telling your body to produce these chemicals to constrict your vessels. So you keep on going and going and going. Then one day you have a stroke, or you end up with a heart attack, or what is the other one? I tell you, sometimes I can't get my head going in the morning. Anyway, something else happens. Or you hear fluttering in your heart or something. That is because it's never had time to relax. So when you take potassium, which is mushroom coffee, actually, you have to make sure that it's not just mushroom coffee, because when they make the mushroom coffee, they spray it with coffee. So you have to make sure that the one you're getting is the one that is sprayed with chicory root, which is potassium. Now see, if you get a lot of potassium, that does the opposite for you. What it does is it relaxes, it sends out the chemicals to relax those muscles in your veins and stuff, so your heart doesn't pump as hard. And this is what's going on. So if you have high blood pressure, I want you to have an understanding of why you do. All of the power drinks that you take, and remember, what happens is your body gets trigger happy. It's just like diabetics. If you have a lot of sweets all your life, tons of them, you drink big bottles of sodas and desserts and stuff in massive amounts, sooner or later the pancreas gets what they call sugar happy. So if you take a pinch of sugar and put it in your mouth, it is going to flood your body with insulin and stuff, though it's very, very little. It gets trigger happy. So this is why you have to be careful in the balancing of things that you do. And as you get older, you have to realize that what you did when you were young might be affecting you now. And you have to look back on your life and say, well, what did I do here? Or what did I do there? Because you just don't know. You have to sit back and think. So for the young people, anything that you're doing now is going to affect you down the road. And if you're already in middle age, realize that what you've done, and you look in that mirror and you say, God, I have changed so much. Realize it's what you've done in the past, but you can change. You can't eliminate everything you've done, but you can make major corrections so it's not so bad. You see, this is how it goes. And if you're up there and you've got a ton of medical problems and everything, realize that it wasn't hereditary. Realize it wasn't anything but decisions that you made in your eating habits that brought you to this point in your life. Now, if you're born with, let's see, I want to be polite when I say this. Let's say health issues. I'm going to be polite. We'll just call them health issues. I'm not going to talk about the degree of them, because you can have a little or you can have a lot. That comes from your mother's eating. And she didn't eat well, and the father didn't. So you come through and you have these issues. It's they put it on to you, and then you have to live with it. That's why nutrition is very important, that you know about it. You try your best to cook the best you can and stay on top of it, and realize that you have to prepare your meals yourself, because if you depend upon the government and you depend upon these companies to bake your food and cook it, understand they're putting things in there. And if you don't believe me, they just had a recall on something that is causing problems, and yet it's all been in sodas and everything. So anyway, let me go get my muffin and my coffee, and I am going to stay quiet today. This is the only video you're going to see today, because they said the humidity is going to drag us up even higher than the temperature. And we're supposed to get a break. Tonight it's supposed to start raining, they say, and it's going to rain for 2 or 3 days. But in the rain, it says it's going to be in the 90s, 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 90s. And I said, well, this is really great, 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 great. When people start cooking in the kitchen and you don't have air conditioning, you're going up to 110, you're going up to 150. The kitchen's going to get quite hot. Anyway, you take care. Be safe today in this weather. Today is a very, very bad day in weather-wise. Make sure you drink your fluids. Take care. Bye-bye.